Hi everybody, my name is Barry Schwartz and this is the Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, February 5th, I believe, and the search news is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com over the past week. First up, Amit Singhal, the head of Google Search for the past 15 or so years, he basically took the code from Google's founders, rewrote it from scratch, and he's been leading the Google Search team since then, about 15 years ago, over 15 years ago. He announced that he's going to retire. He announced it yesterday that he's retiring. He said Google's in great hands. His replacement, the new Google Search head, will be John Giandrea. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right way. But basically, he's the man behind RankBrain, and he's very, very big into the artificial intelligence side of things. So, of course, the whole SEO community is saying the new algorithm is going to be, or the future of the algorithm is going to be AI-based, and there's going to be no human interaction. It's all going to run by itself. And Google's been going in that direction, but I don't know if it's going to be the case themselves. So there's lots of people who are, talking about this. He said the reason he's doing this now is because he wants to do more time with charity work as well as spend more time with his family. Obviously, he doesn't need the money. I'm just a bit surprised because on his 15th year anniversary, he posted this tweet. 15 years ago today, on this day, I joined a small startup called Google. The journey continues, he said. And then he continued his post, at least yesterday, basically, or 2 days ago, basically saying the journey does continue, and he's announcing that he's retiring. He goes through a bunch of things. You can read it all here. His last day will be February 26th. Here's some posts from other Googlers around it. He's been with Google for 14 years, one of the top guys in search as well. Going to miss at work more than I can express. A true friend, built an amazing team, and taught me more than any other boss. Everybody I speak to at Google who has met with him and talked with him or whatever, all says the same thing. Matt Cutts, true friend, he's thankful for his leadership, remains in excellent hands, including experienced contributors, leaders, and ranking. He said billions of people have benefited in some way from Amit's insight and judgment. If you ever did a Google search, you have Amit to thank. And Gary, he's the best, the most inspiring lead I know, but we're going to continue and innovate and make search even better. I met Amit several times, definitely wicked smart, good guy, and for some reason, I said this in my blog post, I don't think he was done. I just hope everything's okay, and I hope, I'm sure Google will be fine, but I don't think he was personally done with his mission, specifically with search, and I definitely hope everything's okay and everybody's doing well. Google Japan announced on their webmaster blog this morning that they went ahead and issued a link penalty towards a major link network in Japan. This is the first time in like 15 months or so since Google actually went ahead and not really outed, but basically said they went after a link network in a specific region. They haven't done this since November 2014. They did a lot in 2014, but it's just interesting to see Google do this recently. More recently, they've been going after mobile redirect spam and stuff like that, but I haven't seen them go after, at least publicly announced, that they went after any link networks in a while. But if you are in Japan and you have a blog in Japan, check out your webmaster search console for messages. Hopefully you guys weren't hit by any of these penalties, and hopefully you guys did not participate in any link networks, because it will just come and bite you later on. Every month or so, I do my Google Webmaster report. So I posted here. It was a very busy month in January, lots of things to cover, talking about a lot of different core updates that were done to the algorithm, why the Webmaster Guidelines updates, and so forth. So if you want to catch up quickly, just go to the post on February 3rd, go to the Webmaster report, and just read through that, and you should be set. Google launched last night a troubleshooter for the Google News Publisher Center. So any Google News publisher that has access to the Google News Publisher Center can log in, run test URLs through this Publisher Center, and get information back quickly to say if it's good or bad. It's a nice little tool. It helps publishers go ahead and make sure their content is going to be fully indexed by Google News. Google posted, John Mueller from Google posted an FAQ, a bunch of FAQs around the migration from HTTP to HTTPS. So I guess Google's still pushing that. There's really nothing new there, but it's definitely a good refresher. And I obviously moved several of my sites to HTTPS without issue at all. So it's definitely worth doing. I don't think you have to worry about it. Obviously, you need to be very detailed about the move. But if you have questions, there's a good FAQ over here that you can get on February 2nd at scroundtable.com. Google, as we expected, finally is officially supporting JSON LD for rich snippet structured data markup, specifically right now with reviews and products rich snippets. Obviously, we'll come to newer ones or other ones in the future, but this is something we expected and something that's happening. Google local reviews. Google a bunch of ranking things now. So Google said local reviews do not impact your web search ranking. It's not a web search ranking factor. So if people leave you reviews on your Google local listing, it has no direct impact on web search rankings. Also on ranking news, Google said that 302 redirects do pass PageRank, and we also covered a few months ago that Google sometimes will treat a 302 as a 301 if Google thinks that it should be a 301 redirect. That being the case, again, Google said it's incorrect that 302s wouldn't pass PageRank. That's just a myth. Google said keywords in the URL, like if you go to the URL structure, you have keywords in them. They are very, very small ranking factors. This is something we covered several times in the past. Google said it again. He said it's a very, very small ranking factor. It's definitely not worth changing your URLs that are already out there to add keywords to them, because then you have to get all the ranking signals redirected to the new URL. If you're going to build new URLs, probably worth doing so, but past URLs, not. When I moved this site over to the new format, I don't know, like 5 years ago, I kept all the old URLs that didn't have any any keywords in the URL the way they are, and they are the way they are without any keywords in the URL. But the new URLs from new blog posts, the new articles that I've written, do have keywords in the URL. So again, I don't think you should definitely rewrite URLs of old URL pages, but definitely for new ones, you could definitely use them. Like this is the common advice that people have been doing for years and years and years. Google, this is interesting. I asked Google about this. I haven't heard back yet. But basically, if you do a search for face, you get Facebook. If you do a search for pint, you get Pinterest. The question is why? Why is Google showing, these are supposed to be for misspellings. So now if you do a search for face, maybe you're interested in looking up people's faces. I don't know. It's face. It's a real word. Why show Facebook? Of course, probably most people searching in Facebook, it's a much more heavily trafficked keyword. But why are they showing these including results for, and then including those results for navigational-based queries when they're not necessarily navigational? Also around Facebook, should Google be using Facebook results for their featured snippets? Glenn Gay posted this screenshot showing for First Magazine, Facebook.com is the rich snippet above the actual First Magazine URL. Why? And there's many cases like this. Should they be using Facebook because the content is pretty low and small? Google's Fetch as Google feature, where you can actually go to Google Search Console, log in, click on the Fetch as Google, and submit a URL to Google. That's only meant for web pages, not for the web index, not for images, not for anything else, not for videos. It only works for web pages, not for images and so forth, which John Mueller said over here. Google launched or is launching a Google Trusted Verifier program for in-person, in real life business verification. So if you have a business, the way you would actually get that verified in Google was to either do a phone call or to get a postcard in the mail and then verify. So it looks like Google has an app, mobile app, that they're allowing in-person, real life people go and verify businesses directly in real life. There's also a screenshot below which shows, for those people who are trusted verifiers, the ability to actually suggest a change to a local listing or answer box, which is pretty interesting. I posted a video of me doing a question and answer session, an interview with Pedro Diaz. He's a former Googler. He worked at Google around the time that Google released he left Google around the same time Google released the Panda update. And he started his own agency, which a lot of Googlers do, a digital marketing agency. And I asked him, not questions about SEO, I'm kind of bored about that. I asked him questions about the SEO community and how Google reacts, or how they feel about the SEO community. So I went through a lot of questions here. It's about an hour interview. If you have time, definitely listen to it. It's fun. And it goes through a topic that most people don't even discuss. And finally, one of those good, warm stories. A person posted in the Google Webmaster, in the Google Web Search forum, is basically saying that Using Google search, she was able to help her father reunite with his long-lost nephew of 60 years. They lost he lost touch with his nephew 60 years ago during a war, and using Google search, he was able to find a blog. She was able to find the blog post and be able to contact that person, and they reunited. Yeah, Google actually sent them Google Cardboard because the person said they were over the moon, so they sent them a free Google Cardboard to see the moon and so forth. Anyway, that pretty much recaps the Search Buzz video recap. My name again is Barry Schwartz, and that is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at scroundtable.com. Again, today is Friday, February 5th. Everyone have a great weekend and stay warm. Bye.